All right, we're live. Hey, welcome everybody.
Good evening from, I have to say, beautiful South Shore Apollo Beach.
Oh.
The past few days have been paradise.
I wouldn't know about that.
Well, you've been a little busy. Thank you. Thanks very much. So we're here live in Apollo Beach, which is a little south of Tampa. And Teo usually gives the layout of South Shore, but we're here. It's 78 degrees and balmy, and we want to thank everyone who is going to tuning in, and everyone who supports our show here. We have some guests tonight, hopefully a few calling in, and we hope that you guys are going to tune in and tell your friends. This show is all about South Shore local businesses being accountable and introducing you to some fantastic local businesses that you can tried and true.
Tried and true. Yeah,
Tried and true
businesses that are treat people the way we want to be treated.
Yeah,
and
established.
Well,
or starting off on the right foot.
Yeah, responsive.
Yeah, responsive and doing the right thing.
That's right.
Accountable, not ripping people off like some people that promote the honest business. It's not so honest.
Right.
Which we may or may not talk about. But anyway, before we get started, let's get into our disclaimer. So this is the opinions of myself, Howard, and our guests. It's not do as we say, do as we do. It's you do what you want to do, but don't blame us if you F around and find out.
You should ask us first, because chances are Teo or myself have probably done something just as stupid.
You know, somebody asked me how I'm always right.
Wow. Continue.
So somebody goes, Teo, you are always right. And it occurred to me, and my response wasn't like, well, heck yeah, I am. My response is, I've done everything wrong so many freaking times that I finally learned my life lessons from being wrong, that now I'm right. So, but with that, our disclaimer. So we're not responsible for whatever you're offended by.
We have an official
everything
one.
Else. Oh, do we have it typed out?
The views and opinions expressed by the podcast are those of the host, guest, and do not necessarily reflect the official policy of the position of any affiliated organizations. Also, ApolloBeachPublishing.com and all of its assets are not responsible for what comes out of my mouth. Okay. I want to thank Joanne Duran from JD Coaching behind the console here, making sure that the show is running smoothly. And we hope that you ask us some questions. We hope you interact with us. If you'd like to join the show or your business would like to come on the show, you're welcome to either do it remotely or be on the couch of questions.
Yeah.
And tonight we have, go ahead, Tim.
We have Tammy from Courtesy Lock and Key.
Welcome, Tammy.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
One of my favorite songs, too, Lock and Key by Rush.
There you go.
Very good.
Alpha, Hold Your Fire, 1987. Saw the concert 4 times. I'm a Rush head, and she is too. And you can be also.
There's nothing better than a good Getty riff.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing that, you know what, because they just don't talk.
Now, who's that drummer?
Never heard of him.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
So the funny thing is, my instructor, when I was a drummer as a kid,
this is great.
I started playing drums when I was 5. Great. And my aunt had a drum and baton course, so I got my drum. And then I started taking lessons. And when I was like 10, maybe, like 5th grade, Phil Druitt in Fort Wayne, Indiana, was my instructor. And the guy he was designing sets for this rock band and this drummer called Neil Peart. And we ended up, I don't know, 5 or 6 times, I ended up having 3 or 4 hour jam sessions with Neil Peart as like a 10 to 15-year-old.
Which is sheer insanity.
Had
a clinic with Neil Peart. He didn't do clinics.
I had no idea the massive impact and magnitude of my life and all of that. I had no clue. I mean, I knew who he was, but I didn't know who he was. And to just sit and jam with Neil Peart for like a whole afternoon.
This is what I tell you, is my friend.
So it was a blast. So
welcome to the show.
But welcome to the show. And let's
tell us a little bit about your business. Tell about you.
Courtesy Lock and Key. How long have you guys been around?
We've been in Apollo Beach, South Shore area since 2005.
That's a long time.
Yeah. And actually it was started in 1988 in South Tampa.
Okay.
My husband is the primary owner, also a drummer.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
Side note.
Drummer.
Yeah.
Bring them by.
Absolutely. And so we've been here in the South Shore area, Apollo Beach, Ruskin, the drill, and since 2005.
Wow, that's a long time.
Now, you were on Flamingo, right? Because we used to
Yes.
drive by the house, we'd see the truck and everything.
Yes.
But you recently moved.
We did. We moved to Ruskin, and now we're just strictly mobile.
Okay.
unfortunately, because I do miss that having the
Storefront?
people. Well, not storefront. I have people come to my house.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, I need my keys copied. Oh my goodness, I locked myself out of my car. Oh, it was awesome. But now we're strictly mobile, and it's a little transition, a little bit of a
Sure.
transition, but we're
So
transitioning.
so you were in South Tampa. So
Yeah.
you're in Tampa, and you came to Apollo Beach. What attracted you to Apollo Beach?
Oh.
It just on a and if we touched on a bad subject, just tell us
No.
to f off or whatever.
My
but was it
Rush.
just-
No, it was my husband's best friend since he was little. Was a Rush freak.
Doesn't
Okay.
sound that
And
bad.
him and his wife, we used to come over and visit quite a bit. I mean, my husband was sailing from the Tampa Sailing Squadron,
Okay.
yacht club over to Bahia Beach, not
Yep.
Little Harbor, since he was young. And we had friends that lived there, and they were like, "You got to come over here." It's just because South Tampa was getting too crazy,
Yeah.
and I have bad road rage. So I was
Yeah.
like,
Stop.
we have to find somewhere else to be.
And
And I was
back in
like-
2005, it was still easy. I mean, Mirror
Yes.
Bay had just kind of opened up.
That's
So
right.
Must have been such a ghost
it's
town.
a great, but if you think about it from a business aspect, when I was here in 2002, 2003, there were like 1,200 homes in Apollo Beach,
It's
right?
crazy.
And then Mirror Bay, and then Harbor Isles and South Shore Falls,
Right.
and then all the Ruskin neighborhoods, because all that you could drive to.
Mar-a-Lago.
Yep, none of that existed.
No,
And you could go from Apollo Beach to Mirror Bay and never have to worry about seeing a car, let alone a cop.
it's true.
And so you move here just as Mirror Bay is starting to expand,
Right.
and then Waterset was kind of a blip,
Right.
but you did have South Shore Falls was in that kind of starting phase, and more
Anywhere
and more
they put a
development.
house or a condo or an apartment, we considered a new customer.
Oh, without
so
Right.
those are the people that we're like, oh, yes, it's a little rough with the traffic and everything, but those are new customers, right?
Well, this
And
grew
you
up.
do the house stuff, obviously, because I
Right.
know, like for us, we had to replace doors and everything from the hurricane. So we actually bought all new. I bought all new lock sets, and I'm gonna have you come over and rekey them all.
Right.
But you can also fix normal locks and stuff, right? So
Absolutely.
I inherited slash I found it. So I lost my big cigar humidors. Okay, obviously people that know me know I smoke cigars.
No.
So
There's one in your hand, dude.
yeah, so a friend of mine, Monte Cristo,
It's a giveaway.
and it
Duh.
fits in my handy
Mhm.
cigar glass.
That's awesome.
That I have to hold it. But so it has a lock and key, and it has like a regular key. It doesn't have like the skeleton key, and so I had to pick it to get it open. But yeah, so can you replace the cylinder and stuff on
Absolutely.
that? So
Yeah.
that's cool.
Do
So
you
like
just-
we can do one-stop shopping.
Now-
Absolutely.
Now, as a locksmith, do you do safes?
We do. Now, if it's a safe that's a little more intricate, or that takes like the cylinder keys that you see like at the vending machines, the Ace,
Okay.
Yep.
those I don't really do. I send those over to a sister company, somebody that we've been referring to for a decade
Oh,
or more.
they're great at what they do. So, I mean,
Absolutely.
and if it takes you 3 hours to do it, and they can do it in 15 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Bring them in.
And most people
Smarter,
don't know that
not
you
harder.
don't need they don't need new locks unless it's an aesthetic thing. So say your locks are worn. I mean, we have a lot of people that have pools, live on the water. There's a lot of degrading of the outside color.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's actually
Tarnish.
part of what
Exactly.
led me on the door from the bathroom, from the pool to the bathroom.
Right.
That whole handle is just total. I mean, it's all rusted, but we bought all new different. Stacy decided to go with brushed nickel instead of the gold, so we changed all that. But
Yeah, and there are differences in the brand of key that brand of lock that you buy. So, for
Right.
instance, Schlage has a lifetime warranty on all its locks, and I'm talking from if it gets corroded from the pool or you just call them and
It's
tell them
easier that way for them.
Absolutely.
Straight up.
right,
yep.
and they'll send out a new one, and especially a keypad. Like that's the worst. Like they can't use the keypad
Well,
for
that's the
whatever
next thing
reason.
you deal with digital locks as well.
Absolutely, we do biometric, which is the finger,
Okay.
good. Face recognition.
and I do counsel my customers, if you know what I mean. Like I do tell them, look, this is what we recommend for
Gotcha.
your particular situation. And that's it really. And but most people don't have to buy new locks. If they don't have to, you have to, obviously,
Right.
because you have new doors. But a lot of people don't understand that when we rekey a home, say you buy a home and you close on it and you're all happy, but you've got a keypad on the front door, but all the rest are regular locks, and you have no idea who has keys or
That
who
was
has
that
the
way
code.
When we bought our house, it
Yeah.
was funny because we bought our house, and at the closing, the gal's like, "Now, here's here's the 16 keys I got back from the neighbors. I'm getting 2 more keys from 2 more neighbors. I'm like, don't worry
Don't
about
worry
it.
about it.
Yeah.
And she goes, no, it's important. I'm like, don't worry about it.
Right.
Because when she showed up the next morning, the dumpster was in the driveway and freaking
Gone.
everything was all, I'm like, everything was being
Right.
rekeyed. But I think about that because I've had employees for so many years, and now I don't have an office, but I used to have the office building. And even my employees with the office building, a lot of them had keys to my house because we would travel or whatever, which is fine. But then when I get rid of them, I'm like, oh, we got to rekey.
Right.
So how often should someone think about rekeying? Because like, you know, the cleaning lady has it, the
Well,
pest control has it.
Believe it or not,
it's like
when
your
I
credit card.
explain
When
this,
you replace your credit card, you got to think about everybody
Exactly.
who you gave
Right.
the key to.
but
I know.
the easy way to just not deal with that is if you close on a home, even if it's an older home or whatever, always have the locks rekeyed.
Right.
Right.
That makes total sense.
And
So any
Joe,
realtors,
can you throw that into a contract from JD Coaching? I mean, would that be something to say, hey, listen, on top of it, the buyer or the seller must provide brand new locks? If you wanted to, you could.
absolutely,
And
but
honestly, anything is negotiable in a contract. However, if they're smart, they get a warranty that includes rekeying. And if not, their agent gets a gift certificate from Courtesy Lock and Key.
see, that's a
and
brilliant
gives it
idea.
as
You
a
have-
gift.
Again,
thank you.
yeah.
That
Thank
is
you.
the
Thank you, Jay.
JD Coaching tip of the moment.
Yes.
Thank you,
Slash
Joanne
Joanne
Duran.
Duran, Keller Williams Sports Entertainment.
Yes, I do. So we do. We offer a
Very
realtor
cool.
rate up to 3 cylinders. That's wherever you put a key in is called a cylinder. Up to 3 cylinders and keypad programming. We delete all the codes that have ever been in that lock and help you put a new code in. And I also try to, as my best, if somebody just bought the house, they don't buy that lock, to find the manual and email it to them so they can
Get
do
them the
their
right
own
stuff.
thing after I leave.
Yeah, I had a Chevy Sprint. It was 3 cylinders. It got like 46 miles a gallon. I think
Because you got only 46 miles out of it.
Yeah. pretty much.
Now, do you do auto key? So like,
That's where
So-
I was going with the fob.
so
dude.
I-
it
so
didn't
I
have a
just
fob
bought-
in my car.
so no offense, we hadn't talked about it yet, but last week we talked to Don Novak from Batteries Plus.
Okay.
So I bought a Kia Niro hybrid, which is like the Hyundai Kona.
Mm.
Not to be
And-
mistaken with the Kona Ice people.
Yeah, exactly.
Continue.
Little
It's
different.
it's a business show here. Got to throw
So-
that something too.
So we had the now I got distracted. 5
fob.
minutes, then
The
we got a
key
break.
fob.
But the key fob. So the first thing I did is, you know, I'm always worried about losing a key or locking myself out. And so I called Don because I know Don does them, and had him add another key fob and do that. But do you guys do key fobs as well?
We
And
do.
Can you break into a car?
Well, yes, I
Okay.
actually
Now
broken
we're
into.
now we're
uh,
talking
So,
about-
so I'm
County
gonna.
Sheriff
I'm
cars.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So
I've been sworn to secrecy. I
Yeah.
can't tell anyone.
So I'm gonna need that because so on my old truck, I gotta replace the latch, and I know this is gonna happen because I can't open the driver's side from the outside. If I lock the door and unlock it, it won't work. So I have
Right.
to go from until I find a latch for.
Yeah. So
A
if
50-year-old
somebody just
Dakota.
needs a copy of a current fob or a key that you have, and it's not a really high end vehicle, you can go to Battery. I do refer my customers sometimes. You can go to Batteries Plus and they will do it for you. Right? They have the capability to
Yep.
do the basic stuff, standard. But if you lose your key completely and you cannot drive your car out of
Oh
the
yeah, then you're
driveway,
screwed because they have to have the.
you have
addictive
to
one.
call. You have
Right.
2 options. You can tow it to the dealership.
without
and
the
then
key, which
Screw
usually
that.
makes
That's
it
like
more money.
$600.
Exactly.
Without the key, it's more money.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
They've
mean,
got to bring a different truck.
Oh, they just enjoy that.
Yeah. That's pretty much write your own ticket at that moment.
Right. So we provide a tech that will come out to your home and make you a new key and as many copies of the fob that you need.
Now, generally from the dealership to you, what's the difference in savings from using a local business? Look at you. It's a great question.
Yeah,
We're putting
it
her, we're putting her
But,
on,
yeah,
and
but
I
mean-
this is like a friendly conversation.
Yeah, but I mean,
so
when
are you
you're in a business for the
are you
reason.
the
That's
same
right.
price or
No, we're about 60%
It's
cheaper.
amazing.
cheaper, and they come to your house
Correct.
instead of having to go to the damn dealership?
That's right.
Okay, so the dealership is way more money than hiring Tammy and her husband to come and do it right there in your driveway.
And our son. We're a family.
oh, your
business.
son too. Okay.
Yes, I
That's
have
our
a-
that's our ratio too. When you call national company, I don't know if you know this, we own Cesar Cleaning Supply, and our
Yes.
prices are at least 60% cheaper. They're like, what? I even get questions. Do you guys show up? It's like, yeah, we just don't rip
It's
you
sad.
off.
Well, it's sad that they have to ask that
Yeah.
question because so many of our neighbors have been burned with that.
600, 800 for a key fob. You know, a Land Rover at a dealership.
Oh,
it's
forget it.
$900 for the key fob. If you lose your key fob, $900.
Yeah.
It's not like Land Rover's not getting enough out of you anyhow, and you're
Right.
going to see them every 7,000 miles on that thing. But on top of it all, if you were hammered, lost your keys, or your kids took them and threw them in the trash, that's a $900 slap in the face.
Right.
So, but back to, so how
Thank you.
often should people think about rekeying, like every 5 years, or just depends on who has keys?
Exactly.
And if you get rid of one service and come
Mom's
up with
house.
another, because
You know,
like, I mean, we have
Lose
the
a
pest
spouse,
control,
lose a girlfriend/boyfriend.
I've had those
the
a lot.
mistress,
The
lost
guy
like those
calls
stalkers.
Lost
my
your keys.
crazy girlfriend. I broke up with her and she's got keys to the house. And what I tell them, and especially if they've got a keypad, it's even better because you can just delete her code
Yeah.
or your code and make a new one and she don't know how to get in. Yeah, but you don't have to do anything silly to the other locks except rekey them. And it's not terribly expensive to do that.
Well, guys, stick around. We've got more coming up with Tammy. And also, we want to thank some of our supporters here. Pure Romance, Trish, of course, Pool Kings from Apollo Beach, the Flip Flop Shop. And you're going to see her revised commercial.
Yeah. We got
Um,
we got spanked on
yeah,
her
Facebook.
music choice. So
Um,
they edited the ad.
Yeah.
And that was great. We saw Pam we hung out at Comedy Slam 3 with Zach.
With Zach,
So
and we have a new guy who's coming on, Brandon, which is Zach's right-hand man. And we're going to get to that after our break. And when is that coming up?
The Web Design Ninja is your one-stop shop for all things internet. Our dedicated team has been building internet solutions for businesses large and small since 1993. We specialize in creating eye-catching designs, search engine optimization, complex e-commerce, and custom app integration. Whether you need a simple website or a complex e-commerce or phone app, our team of experts is here for you. Give us a call today. We're here to help.
yeah.
That's what we do every week.
I mean,
Did you know that Sepshore?
He is
but
for
it is
so many years.
right.
Did you know that Sepshore Cleaning and Supply is locally owned and operated for over 5 years? Oh, there's Howard the owner. Everyone say hi to Howard. You also might have seen one of their vehicles around town. They offer a variety of cleaning services from carpets to tile and grout, laminate and wood floorings, as well as pet remediation and much more. Call today for a free estimate at 813-36421.
I happen to be here with Aldo, who's in charge and runs the Cars and Coffee here in Waterset, which is a local phenomenon, which is kicking butt here and is a free event. He's going to tell you all about it. Hold tight.
Guys, my name is Aldo. I run the Waterset Cars and Coffee every second Saturday of the month from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. We're here every second Saturday of the month at the landing in Waterset.
What's it cost, Aldo?
Nothing. Here's the only thing I'm going to ask.
There you
If
go.
like cool cars, cool motorcycles. It doesn't matter if it's a classic, an exotic. It doesn't matter what it is. Come here. We need cool cars and cool people. If you're cool, you got to come over here.
You're welcome
Every
here.
Second Saturday of the month. Check it out. We have the food truck. We have White Claw. We have the vendors. Free coffee. We always have
I love the
everything.
Ackie. You know I'm a Honda guy.
Yes, yes. So check out the Acura NSXs, the Cybertruck, everything. And guys, follow us. Follow us, Waterset Cars and Coffee, in Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Waterset Cars and Coffee every second Saturday of the month, 8 to 10 a.m. Have a great day, guys.
Check him out on South Shore Live too.
Boom.
All right, well, you're back with Howard the Unknown Drummer
And Captain Teo.
There you go. Toast to Teo.
And Tammy with Courtesy Lock and Key.
Hi there.
Thank
and
you.
we have Joanne in the booth, and we have our friend Rhonda from Michigan. It
Oh,
was
boy.
a freaking blizzard, so she came out. And I
Why
guess
wouldn't
she's,
you?
she's gonna
Right.
do a sunset cruise, so somebody else might have to drive the boat, but we'll be okay. So hey, I need to do the disclaimer. So all these people that think I like shaved my leg, I'm getting flack.
This is a second disclaimer, and
So
the
So I-
sexiness will continue.
yeah, so I had my 14th blockage surgery today, and it hurts.
It hurts.
So I have my Fauci Obey shirt on.
He
and-
needs to be in jail with Hillary.
Yeah. So, and for people, and a lot of people that follow us, they know. So I had to, for my fundraising business, I had to get jabbed, and I am suffering the consequences of it. So
We've been
that's
doing this
about
show
it.
for about 6 or 7 months, and I have to say, Teo, you've come a long way from you used to pull yourself into this place and you wanted to do something to like
Oh yeah.
you're like gung ho about this show.
Oh yeah.
So
we
good-
love it.
I
We love
want
it.
to thank you.
They were like,
Yes.
"Oh, should we pass it?" I'm like, "No, we're not
No.
passing it." I'm like, "I'll just have to do it." I got my blanket just on the back here, but it's super heavy. It was the wrong. We grabbed the wrong
Do you want
blanket
this
from
one?
the house. No. We're
Whoa! So
We're
we're
good.
back.
Sharon Stone it again.
Woo!
You know,
Yeah,
So we're
sure.
back with Tammy, and she's sharing her blanket for now.
There we go.
From Lock and Key, Courtesy Lock and Key here in Apollo
So,
Beach.
so you guys are 365. So obviously you charge more at the middle of the night, right?
7 day,
a little bit,
24/7 though. Are you available?
24/7, 365.
That's us.
And
So if I lock my kid in my car, I don't have a kid, but I have a dog. But
That's
if,
an-
if you
listen,
did that,
if you
that would
lock-
be like a freaking. I can't imagine.
I don't charge extra for that. In fact, yeah.
My car locked itself.
Right.
It was a 2010
I've had dogs lock the
Suzuki
car.
Locked itself.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
they're in the car.
Taz would totally have do that.
French
Taz would totally
bulldogs,
hit that little
divorced.
button.
Oh, my dog literally was laying on the seat. I put my purse in, went around the other side, heard it lock.
Oh,
She was asleep.
Yeah,
on
Tampa
the
was
seat.
asleep. Her
The
name was
dog-
Tampa.
Oh, that's
Oh, yeah.
cute.
And yeah, Tampa Bay, Orlando.
That's awesome.
Right.
And we
Miss her.
panicked.
Rest
It
in
was
peace,
2
Bob.
o'clock
You do.
in the afternoon.
Oh.
And I'm a dog and cat owner, and I'll tell you right now that I treat when you call and you say there's a pet or a child, they're the same to me. I always find out where you are. I figure out what temperature it is outside, and I tell them if it's more than 10 minutes away or 7 minutes away, I tell them you must call 911 right now, break a window.
Yep.
Your insurance will cover it. And then I call 911 because I don't trust anybody that's,
We
freaking
lit-
out about their kid in the car.
We literally put a tent up over the car.
Over the car.
Right.
It was
And-
May.
And the
here.
car was sold the next day.
Oh,
The
yeah.
next day I got a new
Gone.
car.
right.
So you're local here in Apollo Beach,
Yep.
and some good news and some growth news here in Apollo Beach. I don't know if you know about it, but weekly we go over some things that have changed in Apollo Beach. We were talking potholes last week, and we welcome
You
a
know
few
what?
of the
I think
businesses.
we need to set up. I'm kind of glad the vet's gone because driving down the boulevard, I want to set up like a slalom course, and we should do timed runs to see who can who can get from the start to the end of Apollo Beach Boulevard without hitting a pothole,
Or
if
we-
it's even possible. I don't think it's possible. And I bought that new hybrid last week, And I'm afraid to drive down the boulevard because it's like chunk, 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 chunk. I'm
It's
like,
very bad for your car.
God,
and
I'm
I
gonna
can't
have to be
believe that we
buying new
live.
freaking rims after a week.
There is one space that if you hit it just the right way, you can miss every single
You gotta.
pothole. But you are super lucky.
But see, I did that on Big Bend. I went. I remember
mean
a couple
Big Bend
years ago.
over?
Yeah, Big Bend
Big bend
over.
over.
So
Hi, nice to meet
we
you.
were
Bend
joking.
over.
We were joking
Nice to
about after Waterset was being built. We were joking about the traffic getting from 41 to 301 without hitting a light.
Right.
And I did it. And the next week I had to put a new transmission in the vet
Whoops.
because I literally was up. I was like at 40 and then 100 and then like
I was just
60
ripping
and then
through it to
oh
make it
yeah.
out.
To hit it where I didn't have to hit the brakes once during the light, and I just burned the shit out of the transmission. In
Well,
the vet.
The bad news is,
But it was due for a new transmission at the time, so it was okay.
you won't be able to do that around here anymore because the good
Oh, I
news
know.
is over 720 new houses are earmarked for the back
So-
end of Waterset.
So here's what's crazy about that is we were talking about the hurricane, right? And people, unfortunately, I know way too much about hurricanes going back years and years, right? Going back to
Me too.
Hugo in '89, and I think I'm better prepared than most. And people are like, "Man, I hope this is never going to happen again." I go, "It's definitely going to happen
going to.
again," because if you think back to like '04 when we had Charlie Francis
Charlie, yeah.
Jean, and the other one, I forget the other one, but Charlie Francis Jean, and then
Hugo and Sally and
It-
Buttercup
well,
and every
so-
other
yeah.
freaking name you can come up with on,
But
I
if
can't
you
wait
think
for
about it-
Dexter this year.
yeah,
Really.
yeah, Dexter and Karen.
Mm-mm.
Karen hits
Um,
twice.
So
Doesn't shut up.
the problem is the tides came in and like the Alify in Riverview, there were no tiki docks or any of that, right?
No.
So that water went all the way past County Road 309, up the Alify, and it spread out in all that farmland. And the same with the Little Manatee, right? It flooded all those areas in Ruskin and then up along 75, across 41 and then 75.
Yeah, Shell
and then
Point was a
301.
mess.
And all that. Well, what's happened is they built all those neighborhoods, and like your house here, where we're at now, is right across the boulevard, right across 41, and you're at what 41 feet elevation.
Yeah, 41 feet is it, Joe? 41 feet.
So
above
41 feet in elevation. Now this used to be like 6 feet, so all this would be flooded,
Right.
and the water would get absorbed, and plus you have all the rain that would be absorbed. Now all of it hits the concrete and it eventually floods into the bay. So we built a dam around the bay. So houses like
Damn.
mine are now lower effectively than they were because the water has nowhere to go. Plus there's more water
Right.
that contributes. Now we're going to add another 1,000 homes and another huge chunk of concrete that used to be the Damari tomato fields. And all
I mean,
of that.
when we got here, there was supposed to be a mall built. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
On
Yeah,
Big
yeah, yeah.
Bend. And we're
Yeah.
like, oh, a mall. That's awesome.
Thank goodness they did not, because
there were,
now
there
it
were
would be,
11 when I
it
moved
would
here.
be a ghost town.
So when I moved here, there were 1,178 homes in all of Apollo Beach, and there was no Mirror Bay. It was talked about. It was advertised. You could buy lots. There was no South Shore Falls. There was no Waterset.
Nope.
We actually got a hog right about where the house is here, where we were driving the truck, and you used to have the gun in the back of your truck.
Yeah.
Gun rack boy.
And
All through
man,
high
it's-
school, nobody
it's-
did anything
it-
stupid.
it was totally different, the world. But yeah, so we got 700 some homes that are being built, and
I had a gun
I'm
rack in New
dreaded
Jersey.
about leaving Apollo. It's hard enough to get to Waterset from my house in Apollo Beach regular.
Well, we GPSed it and it brought us through Big Bend over. And I'm like, why is it taking us Big Bend? And I'm like, now I know, but
because
Paseo Almar is a nightmare now. We
Right,
always were
and-
waiting for it for so long just to get through.
well,
Certain times a day it blows. Other times you're like, okay, I
but
get
the
it.
problem is getting from like Fens and Circles. So I live right
Right.
across the water from Fens, and it takes 3 lights because people don't know, they're not paying attention, and they take forever to go through the light because then that light is so long now, and now you're going to add another 1,000 homes, so another, let's call it 1,400
Where are they
cars, because they're
going
going to
again?
add a bunch of apartments.
Right. Where are they going again?
Yeah,
Where are they
I don't
going?
know.
The problem, I
but
think, is
I-
that they're building all these homes, not thinking of the infrastructure.
They don't think about the infrastructure.
and our
because
roads are horrible.
If you look at the politicians, and I got into this with Michael Owens, and I got into it with Sandy Merman before that. You know, if you looked at her campaign contributions, now this is a job that pays what, $70,000 a year,
Right.
and they're getting $500,000 in contributions from real estate attorneys and real estate developers.
Sure, open some doors, build some
So
houses.
why are you fighting so hard for these jobs? It's, hey, bring back Elon. You know, Elon Musk with Doge is awesome for that corruption. Now we got to figure out how these politicians that make 70 to 170 grand a year are
Become
Have these
making
bank accounts.
millions.
Right.
40. They're worth $90 million.
Right.
You know,
It's all the other side because they're not serving the people, they're serving themselves.
That's
and
why
I got
they're
into it with
upset.
Michael Owens in a town hall. He's like, well, I'm concerned about we want to slow the growth. I go, dude, you cannot.
No.
You took $400,000 from real estate developers.
you sold your soul.
You cannot ethically fight for the community.
But he should have done that before he did
And
the
then,
wrong.
and then he took the money
Did you
and
buy
then-
a house with it at least?
and then he voted and then he voted.
Maybe Mangrove
He
Manor he can
voted,
afford
and
one.
then he's stepping up. You know, he's going up
Better
to
raise.
the,
Moving
to
on
the
up.
state and the state and the state,
State
and then
rep,
the
and then
government
this
and
and
the
this.
feds, and it's all there. It's really crazy how it's grown. So what else we got? We got, a
got,
couple of restaurants. We have
Little Caesars. Congratulations. You can get a pizza now for $6.99 at your house. They're ready and take. They're local. They're so local that you literally can walk. It's across the street from Waterset now. So if you really needed another pizzeria,
You got to be kidding me.
so as
so
a
Little
kid,
Caesars there.
I loved it because it was two pizzas for pizza for $5.
their
Right.
Bigfoot pizza
And-
kicked ass. That
and-
square they had,
Oh,
holy cow.
so I can't imagine doing it. compared to-
$9.99?
So I
Unbelievable.
wish I could eat it, and I'm like
Destroys me.
dying for David Williams South Shore Pizza.
I miss the West Shore
Um,
pizza. That remember we had the West Shore pizza on
before
Flamingo.
the fire just kind of happened.
Now we came from South Tampa, where right.
Whoops.
Oops, I think the guy that helped with shenanigans helped with
Dave?
yeah, they were on
But
Alibi.
anyway.
They were on
I
Alibi
remember
Cruise
that.
Lines. Alibi
But what
Cruise
we,
Lines.
West Shore Pizza was created in South Tampa. The
Right.
original one is down on West Shore, where John, my husband, grew
and they
up.
actually had good Philly cheesesteaks too.
Oh, really good. But then
Sucks.
they opened back. They were closed for a long time. They opened back up. Excuse me, and then they caught on fire.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
what just
Yeah.
happened?
So we got them. So, but I will
So
say,
little, but back to Little Caesars real quick. You know, the one pizza I wanted to try, I never tried it. Was they had that bacon where it was like the bacon crust was wrapped and then it was smothered in bacon. And as a good Jewish boy that I am,
yeah,
Pizza.
I ate a lot of freaking bacon.
I do too. I mean, I'm wow. Do I eat pizza?
Yeah. So
I eat
so
pizza
anyway, if
and
they
I
bring
eat
that back,
bacon.
I might break the
Mr.
diet for
Tom.
that. So, but okay, so we got a Little Caesars coming, and then Bohemian.
Well, I was going to get
Right?
to her last because she's got a lot
Okay.
going on, and Joanne's
Yeah.
going to pull up her information. I sent it in the messenger.
Nicole, man,
We
what
have-
a great gal.
Yep, she was over here today, and I got something for her really nice coming along. Hand and Stone. Now they're
Yeah. So what's up? So Joanne
Yeah,
had
what's
talked
that?
about that, right? It's like
It's a national-
that's a massage
it's a
that does the
massage.
heated
They do-
stone thing,
They
right?
do massages. They do facials.
Stone
They
stone
can
therapy.
do hot
Yeah.
stone therapy. They do Himalayan stone. They do your regular massage.
So
They
I
do
so
your, like,
personally
elbow
I
and
got
your
it,
back.
but you messed me up because you introduced me to
Danielle.
Danielle,
She's phenomenal. She'll
And
be
I-
on the show soon too.
and we got to
I
have
left
Danielle.
Hand and
So
Stone for Danielle.
and Danielle is the bomb. So I don't know if I can if you want to go to Hand and Stone, go to Hand and Stone, but I would just call Danielle because man,
yeah,
has
Danielle
pain,
sounds like a better option.
has pain never felt so good is all I'm gonna
Well,
say.
you know, she's very, very
Attentive.
magical.
yeah.
She
Is
just
she
brings an-
magically delicious?
she brings an aura to your moment with her that you really can just
She
she
was
puts you in a
digging
different
it.
place.
She was digging into spots and she's like, okay, now I feel this now. Is this hard? You know, is it too much or too less? No, not those spots. But and then she was very good about my blood clots, you know, okay, I'm gonna, avoid this area and,
Well, if it feels well, like you can do calf massages that should help.
yeah.
So so they're opening up, and the good thing about having some national brands around is that you can always get a service from somebody out of the area, meaning that if you get a gift card or something like that from some
That's a
you
good
know,
thing.
that-
And a lot of them are franchises, so they
Correct,
are local
a local
owners.
business. And also too, they've got to keep themselves to the standard, and especially a lot of businesses don't keep themselves to a standard that are in that business. So this will keep everyone in check a little bit.
Right.
Exactly.
You know, if there wasn't Stanley Steamers, South Shore Cleaning and Supply would have nothing to put itself up against in business, because there's the Goliath and Davy.
I was
Right.
going to touch on that for my business
You know?
because there's so many
National.
fake and
Effect.
scamming.
Well, that's a whole
my
different thing.
industry is just, and then the county, we complained about it so much. The county was like, okay, fine. So they listened and they came up with a biannual license, and you had to be background checked and fingerprinted and have your, display like we have our van wrapped, and you had to have guys with their,
Their IDs. yeah.
right.
Think about
And
it,
we're
you're
like,
a
okay,
locksmith.
that'll help. Oh, of course, I've got a key to your house, key to your business.
Key to your car.
Exactly.
I can
So,
make a copy just like that.
but I spent a lot of time for the last 3 years texting the guy that was in charge of it down at the Consumer Protection Agency in Tampa. And I'd say, okay, this person's not, this
Comply.
person's fake. This person has no license, and I'm like,
Well, you were doing the
are
job
you
for them.
hiring? Because I'd like to come and do
You're
that job
doing
for
the
you.
job for them.
Right, but I had to. It was horrible. I'd go to a customer. I'll never forget one girl. She was a single mom. She said, I gave him all my grocery money, $300 to get into my lock at night, and he destroyed the lock and left. So she's there. She calls me. I go to her house. She can't even lock her front door. I mean,
Right.
that's just insanity to me. That's disrespectful. And that's what I aim to counteract. Like, I hope that our business is so giving that we know what the bad people are doing in order
Right.
to make it right. Right.
And
it's
unfortunately, you
hard.
have to go the extra mile.
And
Social media has made it very easy.
The scammers,
Exactly.
and I want to talk about a couple other businesses here. And I would be remiss. So after surgery, I went and had my hair touched up at Tangle Me Not, and they're pretty shy people, actually. Scott and Charlene are super cool
I met
people,
them a
and
few
people,
times. Very
yeah,
nice.
Me too.
great people,
And I know
and-
the people who work for them. They're very happy too.
and they're
We do their
great.
locks.
They're great, yeah. So
I love it.
they're
lots.
great, and I would be amiss
your locks
in
too? Awesome.
and not shouting out to them, because they are so good. And like my wife with her chemo and the hair,
People love them.
They
they
care.
do such a good job at
Because they're truly our
making it
neighbors.
look. I mean, you saw my wife today,
Yes.
and you would never know that she's
That's
got
right.
the chemo hair,
That's right.
and they just do such a great job.
They do.
And then Night's Air, you
They're
talk
coming on the
about,
show.
Lisa.
yeah,
I
we're
know
gonna have
Lisa very
Lee and
well.
Lisa out here, and they just do the right thing. I
Exactly.
can't tell you
It's
how
not
many
difficult
people,
to do the right thing
right.
if you're a good company,
Well, and
a good person.
Yeah.
so many times if the AC is not working, it's, oh, you probably have the clogged drain line, and yeah, Lee could go, okay, I'm going to charge you $150 to come out, hook up the shop vac, suck it out, and do that. But you can also do it at home and have AC working in 10
Exactly.
minutes.
Right.
You know,
And-
the world of one and done.
And they will have my business forever. After
Right.
when we flooded with the hurricane, they came over. My AC was underwater, right? And
Oh,
Lee's like,
so
flush it out,
sorry.
rinse it out, rinse it out, rinse it out. And I kept putting it off, and he kept texting me, have you rinsed? I go, no. And then all of a sudden I look over, and there's a Night's Air van in front of my house,
Yeah.
and he's out there with the hose rinsing it out.
Yeah, that's Lee.
And then he's like, okay, I'm going to turn your breakers off for the AC. And
Mhm.
so when the power comes on, call me. And then he came out and checked everything. And I had AC within like 15 minutes of having power, because that's the kind of people they are. And like so East Bay, the women's softball or the girls softball, I mean, is it women's or girls in high school?
It's
I don't
girls.
know. Girls high school.
Female.
So the
female.
Famali.
the
One of-
female softball
The
team.
Famali softball team of
So
South Shore.
so Heather had
Thank you.
Heather is the mom of Zoe, who's one of the players on the team. And Heather's worked for me for years. And when my wife got sick, she stepped up and really ran my fundraising business. And so they've been doing a lot of fundraising. And we have one of the raffle. I think we showed it on the site, the Lady Indians URL. And so Lee drove by. They were raising they're raising funds for the new uniforms because the school doesn't have the budget.
Nope.
And I don't understand that. That's a
Crazy
whole nother
money.
that's a whole nother thing, right? And so Lee paid for the uniforms for the girls softball team
How
of
much?
East Bay.
Like $200 a uniform. What was some crazy
Yeah,
amount?
it's
The
probably
thing
$1,000
is
bucks.
that
Probably $1,000 for
Our
a set of uniforms.
taxes
Yeah.
have a place for the local schools. They do have a budget. They have money that they are allotted, and yet it's wasted.
How do they
And
not have more
that's
money? So my
wrong.
street alone, right? And you guys have been down my street. My street's like 14 houses long. In the last now 3 years, my street alone is contributing $61,000 more a year in property
Than it did.
taxes than it did
Than it
5
did,
years
right.
ago.
Yep.
So that's more money and no more kids, by the way. I mean, there's
Right.
no kids in my neighborhood. Very few, just a few. There's maybe 4 or 5 kids in my entire neighborhood. And so just my street alone is adding all this extra money to the coffers. On top of that, we had the sales tax to do the heating and AC. And I calculated that out 2 years ago, and that was over $500,000 per school. Now, keep in mind, we have a lot of new schools that were built that shouldn't need $500,000 to
They're new.
revamp the AC. So how do they not have AC? And on top of that, you have the original AC budget. Where did that money go?
Exactly.
And
Well-
you don't have. Oh yeah, we'll reload.
Well, Doge is
We
on
don't
its
have
way.
that. And so maybe we can get Doge in the local deal
Oh my
because the
gosh. Is
school
there a
should have
local
tons of-
Doge?
there should be.
Well, you know what?
I'll
That's part of
volunteer.
the educational
Let's do it,
system.
Howard.
I
I'm ready to
Doge.
do it.
Finally, new to Apollo Beach would be the Bohemian. What is she calling it, Joe? Bohemian Hair Salon. That's Nicole Kavaka, and she's going to have multiple services there. She's going to have her hair salon. She's going to have a masseuse. She's going to have what else, Joe? It's all chick stuff.
Oh, like chakra and wellness.
And that's it. That's in the gray
Holistic
building next to
wellness.
Solar Designs. They're at college in 41.
She moved. She moved.
She didn't take that one.
She moved to. I sent you the info, Joe. We'll pull it up on the messenger. So in the meanwhile, I got Zach here, and he's saying,
He is sick.
"Oh boy, Zach
Oh,
the comic.
Zach.
That's not funny." But make sure you watch Zach. That way we can talk about Comedy Feast number 3.
So Bohemian does not move until March 31st.
Put it up on the screen.
All
All
but
right.
now I have to, you know what it is? The link that you sent me, I have
Oh,
to
okay.
do
All right.
some stuff too. But she's going to have microblading, permanent cosmetics, Botox, massage therapy, facial, body waxing, hormone therapy, and weight loss. There's a bunch of people that are going to be in there with her, as well as herself, who does any kind of hair thing you need. She's been
Takes care of
working
my
on
locks. That's well.
She's been handling my hair for a while. So
Maintains
Oh.
grace.
And hey, by the way, just because we talk about Tango and we talk about Bohemian, there's more than enough haircuts to go around, and they both are excellent
Yeah.
people.
I started out with actually over there.
Tango. You gotta
spread it
Tangle
around.
Me Not.
Yeah.
Tangle Me Not's phenomenal.
They do
And-
my hair.
And not
Yep.
just that, she could be busy. She could be on vacation.
Oh, and she's still so what's the we have to
Take a
have her
break.
over again for dinner, but let's take a break
take a
and
break
we'll come
right now.
back.
And thanks everyone. We want to thank our friends over at Pure Romance, we want to Web Ninjas, of course, and then Jen Bud.
Allie Serrano portraits. Hey, by the way, happy
Absolutely.
birthday, Allie.
Allie.
Your
Happy
birthday was
birthday.
yesterday. I was on the phone call wishing her happy birthday with a group of people.
And for her birthday, she usually gives everybody else a special. So if you need a headshot, which typically her headshot package is $1,250,
Wow.
it's half price.
Damn.
I will
Good.
tell you this: I've had my pictures done by Allie twice.
Wait till you see ours.
They are phenomenal.
She
I
made
can't
me
wait.
look beautiful.
You know,
that takes a
I
lot.
gotta-
That takes a lot.
It
If
really
you look
does. Kay.
good-
That's your new line. That takes a lot.
If you want absolutely professional pictures taken, you have to use Allie, because just every
Instead
Now,
of
does
my-
she
instead
do
of my
just the
selfie with
portrait?
the
Does she just do the
F. Fauci
picture?
shirts.
she does the portrait, she does the
Sorry.
touch up, it's this whole package from start to finish.
Also,
It's
too,
really-
we're going to also have a mask burning party. Tune in a minute, and we're
Oh,
going to
yeah.
talk about that and check out our commercials. And thanks for supporting our sponsors.
Design Ninja is your one-stop shop for all things internet. Our dedicated team has been building internet solutions for businesses large and small since 1993. We specialize in creating eye-catching designs, search engine optimization, complex e-commerce, and custom app integration, whether you need a simple website or a complex e-commerce or phone app. Our team of experts is here for you.
Did you know that South Shore Cleaning and Supply is locally owned and operated for over 5 years? Oh, there's Howard the owner. Everyone say hi to Howard. You also might have seen one of their vehicles around town. They offer a variety of cleaning services from carpets to tile and grout, laminate and wood floorings, as well as pet remediation and much more. Call today for a free estimate at 8133642185.
Hey, so we're back, everyone. Here it's Howard, the unknown drummer,
and Captain Teo, the official mayor of a drinking.
You're the
village with a
official
boating
mayor.
club.
I'm ordaining you.
Ordaining our drinking village with a boating problem.
Drinking
We're
village
here
with a
with
boating
Tammy.
problem. And
Hi.
Tammy from Courtesy Lock. And she's going to hang out with us for the rest of the show. She's having a good time. So.
Yes.
So
And if you want to be a guest, reach
Exactly.
out to us because we want to promote your business as long as you're ethical and you do the right thing. If you're not, we don't care. Like there's some people that say they're honest and well, they're not honest.
No.
But
they
anyway.
exploit their situation and they hold people ransom and hostage.
And they make you
based off
feel bad.
reviews.
Oh, I need help with this. I need help with this. And by the way, we don't take any money. So like when we had Emily from Tampa Bay Cake Company, we bought the sweets.
Pizza.
When we're gonna have Mex.
Chinese
We're
from
gonna have
Chen's.
Mex from the
Cats. Getting
the
cats go.
MF barbecue. MF
Oh,
barbecue.
nice.
We're
There
gonna
you
get
go.
we're gonna get Caitlin and her family over here, and we're gonna buy the ribs and the
We
brisket
buy
and
it
stuff
all.
like that. So we pay for that.
Now then, if they decide that they want to give us a break, I'm not going to say no to that.
Right.
But
You know,
we
but
do
we
not,
buy
we're not
everything.
asking. We're gonna hire you to do lock stuff at our house, but I'm not asking you to do it for free. And I want to make that perfectly clear
But other people do though.
because other people do. And, there's a review guy that's doing reviews. And if you don't pay him, you get a shitty review. And that is
We haven't
wrong.
raised our rates since 2021.
We haven't raised our rates in 3 years. But the point that you're holding me hostage, or how do you like this move too? If you give me a 5-star review right now in front of me, I'll give you 20% off your order, 20% off your services. And then all of a sudden you're like, holy cow. First of all, it means he's charging you too much money if you can take 20 off. I don't know many businesses other than soda that make 20%,
Right.
soda and liquor, that make 20% and be an honest, viable business that I want to deal with. Right off the bat, if you're making more than 20 or 30% on me, at that point, there's a reason why you're getting my money.
Exactly.
Okay, there must be an alternate reason because you're not in the fair lane. If you're 3 times my price and you're getting business, I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
We for my fundraising business, I have it priced so that I could charge double, right? My competitors all charge double.
Mm.
And that's the going rate is 8%. And I have it so that at the end of the year, if I make $1,000 to $2,000 and I'm able to pay all my employees well, and cover all my expenses, I'm happy.
Right.
I make money on other projects and other things, but for nonprofits raising money, I don't want to charge out the wazoo. And people are
Right.
like, well, can I get a discount? I'm like, I'm already half and there's no extra money. I can't give you any other deals.
You do understand what the definition of kosher is, not being a pig.
Yeah.
Not just eating a pig, but don't be a pig.
Yeah. No hoofed.
And it sounds crazy. But all these things over
else.
time that I know, they all come into play in interaction with people. And if you're not going to eat a pig, don't be a pig.
Right.
And you don't have to be a pig.
Right.
And apparently there's some people that are out there that's saying, I need this, my family needs this, I need that. And
How do you give Mary Ann's a bad review? Okay. So here's the deal.
Oh my God. No, I've seen it.
Yeah. So
what is going on?
Yeah. So this individual, and I don't want to name him, but so we had an issue with this person in my Facebook, and he left. He would constantly beg for, oh, my kids need this. I need formula. I need diapers. I need all this stuff for my kids. And then he would go out and post these food reviews. Oh, I ate here. I'm like, okay, why are you going out to eat, man? Because you could freaking go to freaking Walmart and buy a big thing of rice.
You still feed people on
and
$10
feed for a week.
Rice, eggs, and French fries is actually a poor Cuban person's food.
You know,
and that costs you about $1.25.
And by the way, you can get your own big bag of potatoes and cut your own damn French fries.
You're right.
And
but you're going out to Mary Ann's for a sandwich.
You're going for a Mary Ann's.
And they always sell 2 subs.
They got
only
one sub.
One sub.
You can decide what you want on it. That's about it.
Yeah, whole or half.
That's it. You can either decide if you want.
And you want extra peppers.
I go to S&S Tacos next door.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Give me a wet burrito.
So Mary Ann's has been in business for 50 years with the same damn sub. Okay. Now, over the years, the meats might have changed a little bit based on suppliers or whatever, but it's been the same sub for 50 years.
Same formulation.
And you know what?
Right.
It's freaking awesome. And if you think, and you're going to give it a shitty review because you couldn't get a turkey club, screw you.
Go to Subway.
You're not there for a turkey club.
And you're not there. And at the price point, they got rent, they got insurance, they have
OSHA rules they have to follow.
Staff, everything else. So it's $1 more than a Publix sub. Big freaking deal.
It's twice the size.
Hold on. So you're talking about $10.
Yeah. I think it's $10.99 for an entire large sub,
which is
and it's loaded.
Exactly.
An 18-inch
and
sub.
my wife and I split one. There was a time when I could eat a whole one.
John too.
And it shows. But now it's like 2 meals. And it's well worth every penny.
Absolutely.
And the staff is great. And to give them a bad review is just ridiculous. But then, like we were talking to Kings Lake Grill.
Okay, so then.
And they did a review of Kings Lake Grill, but they gave them their award because they got a gift card.
Listen.
And that's just wrong.
Some small businesses, one bad review can make or break that business.
I've given bad reviews, but I give great reviews too.
Right. But I mean, it's sad to me because like we've all talked about on the closed group, always go to the owner or the manager first. Do not run right to the ding review and start posting crazy negative crap.
This guy parked in my my
Ugh.
driving spot. My mom had been. It's like,
Nine,
stop it.
good companies will make it right.
Yep.
Period.
And not just that, things happen. Maybe you don't
Right.
realize that someone asked you, I needed to move the car. There was an ambulance coming through.
Oh, forget that.
you know,
Good Lord,
God,
have you seen
God,
that?
God forbid,
Nobody pulls over anymore.
you know,
Oh, that's like I cannot. So the other day,
You saw it?
I saw it, and I'm like, this is heartbreaking
Right.
because there's an ambulance. I was on Bloomingdale, and nobody would move, and I'm like, this poor ambulance. I'm like, I go, you assholes. What if it was your loved one?
it could be your
in
mom,
there?
your cousin,
I'm
your,
like,
your
I don't
daughter.
give a shit. I'm
Or
pulling
their
into a
son.
parking lot. So what if I'm 5 minutes late? You know
Right.
what? I can stop in the parking lot, text them, and go, dude, I'm going to be
I may
5
have
minutes late.
saved someone's life just by pulling
That's
over her.
it.
The selfishness is unbelievable.
Out of control.
And that's what I see every Tuesday coming here on Apollo Beach Boulevard. There's all the people stuck on their phones and then trying to pull into Starbucks. And I'm like, just get across the lane, hit the gas and go. It's really,
Well, I'm going to make it worth your while to
Challenging.
come back over here because we're going to have a mass burning party.
yeah. So
I would love
need to do
that.
Welcome.
because, I have my
Maybe
Fauci
Saturday,
Obey shirt.
either
and then
Saturday
I
or
mean, I don't
Sunday.
have any masks left because I burned them all. I'm
Well,
kidding.
you're welcome.
I lost all mine in the hurricane.
Broad, you
thank
can use
God.
a broad too.
I
so
found a ton of them stuck in my closet somewhere.
Awesome.
so
Let's
we're going to get
burn
together.
them.
We're going to set up an
Burn,
event,
baby,
either
burn.
virtual. You can burn your own masks at your own leisure. Again, this is where the disclaimer comes in, guys. And I will take 100%. You just fell in with me. This was my idea. Teo was
It's
cheerleading on
5
me on
years
this
now.
one.
It's 5 years.
He's like,
It's
let's
been
do this.
5
And I'm like,
years.
yeah. And he goes, yeah. So maybe this Saturday or Sunday, we'll set up an event, gather your masks, and hopefully America can burn some masks together.
I
And
mean,
we're
America.
America.
Right.
Yep.
And we'll do something funny. And we'll entertain you for 10 minutes and
It's hard to believe it was 5 years ago.
spread the event
Yeah,
to
right.
many people and spread the word like wildfire that we're burning our masks 5 years later, guys.
Retired 2 years ago after 28 years, and my brother-in-law just retired after 25 years. And they are like, you would not believe what we've been through. Like, it's horrible.
It's hard to believe.
So-
it
Flo
seems
loves
like
it.
It seems like it was just
She loves the
yesterday,
mass
but it
burning.
seems it was
So
like 10
tech-
days
Well,
ago.
time was taken away from us.
So
I know.
technically, guys, the first mandate for masks was April 3rd, 2020.
All right.
It has
Well,
to be a couple of weeks after
maybe
the
we'll
Yeah.
shoot
lockdown.
for that day
Because
and
the
have a
lockdown
national.
was in March.
Let's do a national event and be
So-
those dickheads.
Yeah, so I came back. So I had one of my employees in
Right?
England that
Oh my
was
God, I'm asking for a shit
having
storm.
brain surgery from her cancer, and so I flew over so I could be there and hang out with the family. And Cosman and family, if you guys, he watches this every now and then, so just want you to know we still love you guys and we think about you often. They so I'd gone over and I came back and I ended up being the last flight over from England. And there were only 7 passengers on the entire flight. It was
Wow.
packed
Ghost-
with,
That's
with,
a
with
great
yeah,
flight because I lived there for 6 years and
yeah.
it
So
was never
and-
that low of a
well, and
flight.
I was annoyed, right? Because I was like, well, if I'm gonna enjoy that flight or fly over and fly back, I'm gonna spend the extra money for first class. So I booked a first class ticket, and then they brought all the people. There were only 2 of us that paid for first class, and they brought the other 5 into first class, and then they gave away our meals.
Oh my
That's nice.
So I didn't get
you
my,
get a meal
my
and you get a
steak dinner.
meal.
Yeah, I
Oh,
didn't get my
I'll
steak
steak.
dinner.
You didn't pay for it, dude.
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, I should have sat in the front of first class. But anyway, I got back and Cindy Conley posted that on Facebook the other day. She works for a food company that
Right.
supplies to Whole Foods and
Right.
Amazon Foods and stuff like that. So she was busy nonstop, like getting truckloads of toilet paper and stuff for the pandemic.
I killed it.
And
because we needed
So-
a whole we
so-
needed a whole lot of that.
oh, we did. And so
Yeah,
what was
because
funny?
diarrhea was part of the problem.
Apparently,
Yeah.
Everyone shit
So-
themselves.
mouth
well-
diarrhea.
Well, and the crazy part was, so I get back in. I had flown direct from Gatwick to London, and we or from to Orlando, and so I get in. And I called, and one of the gals at the office. I'm like, "Do we need anything from Sam's Club? Because I'll swing by Sam's Club." And she goes, "Oh, we're almost out of toilet paper." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I swing into Sam's Club and I pick up 2 of those big things. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what the situation is at the house. So I'll just get 4 because I always keep one and then one on
Sure.
reserve. So I picked up 4. So I get to the office and I open up the closet to put the toilet paper in, and I had 2 big things already in the closet because they only saw the 9-pack that was in the bathroom, and they didn't realize that
You
you
had
could
it
go. I keep all
stored.
the
You had
things.
it stored
So
somewhere.
I had all this. So then when no one could get toilet paper and everybody, and literally that afternoon, everybody was out of water and toilet paper. And
Not me.
so I was driving around, Stacy and I,
neither.
so Stacy and I, so we were driving around delivering toilet paper to people for like 2 or 3 weeks,
That's so precious.
and everyone's like, oh, that was so sweet. So we were like, so Cindy posted that on Facebook a couple days ago going, oh, here's Teo delivering us toilet paper because I didn't have any.
So
she
we're gonna have
goes,
a mass burning party.
so we're going to do a mass burning party. And so maybe we'll figure out the time to do that. We'll do that. Who we got on?
I will definitely be
you got
here.
any comments? I can't read that far, but I can never read that
neither.
far.
That would be Rwanda thanking me for putting in touch with somebody. Burning the mask, she loves it. What else? Joanne, you're going to have to read those because we're all blind at this point here. In the meanwhile, though, I also wanted to mention something here being neighborly, what I saw on my neighbor's grill.
Okay.
So a buddy of mine.
That's nice.
Yeah. What a spread. I mean, you met him and my buddy, and eats a lot of protein. And we went over to his house to celebrate his 40th birthday. And, me coming from my background, there's certain things that I don't particularly feel comfortable or have never really eaten. So, I went there and had some ribs, and his ribs were magnificent, dry rub, and he had racks and racks. He had two grills going. You would have been so proud.
Who was that?
Teo. Manuel, but Damien.
Okay.
And so, and then I look over and he's got this beautiful rack of steaks, and they're just lined up beautifully. And then he has his sausages, he's Argentinian. And I was like, wow, what a great grill. And then I look over and I see some cuts of food that I've never seen before in my life. And I don't really think much about it. I think maybe it's chicken. And then I see this like octopus stuff on there. And I'm like,
Oh, nice.
well,
It's not octopus.
Yeah.
He picked it up.
So
it was very long.
it started crackling, and I'm like, wow, what's that?
Cracking.
And Joanne goes, innards,
No,
and
I
I'm like,
said entrails.
entrails.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I'll
I've
pass
never,
on that.
I've never in my life.
I have. I've eaten them, but I don't care for them.
And then I go,
What is it called? Squiggles and Squeaker.
Oh.
But yeah,
Yeah,
whatever it's called. I
so-
lived over there, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
and then he goes, well,
I'm good. No, thank you.
I said, well, what kind of meat is it? He's never saw this kind of meat before. He goes, this is the heart.
Well, I've eaten cow brain.
Well,
That's a Cuban
Yeah,
delicacy.
yeah. Cow brain.
Breaded
is
cow
okay.
brain.
I'm not a fan of that.
Too
So
salty.
I grew up, and my uncle had a farm, so we would kill a cow, and my grandparents and my parents would
Uh-huh.
split the cow, and that came with the tongue and the
My
brains
mom
and
used
everything.
to
I
eat
could never.
tongue.
My parents loved it, and the
Oh.
liver. I'm like, oh, you guys can
Yeah.
have all that.
And then there was
We
some
did the-
liver on there.
yeah.
I'll
and,
take
and I
the
said,
T-bone.
and I'm like, hey man, well, luckily, I fast, so it was like 7:30, and I'll pass, but I'll try a rib or two. The ribs were magnificent. But you learn something new every day.
You do.
You sure do. And I learned that even though I know that shit's in Slim Jims, I
Well,
don't
I'm
like.
Cuban, so we had Noche Buena. We had a pig every year, like a dead one on
Dead one.
a
Spindle.
Spit,
yeah,
yeah.
whatever. And it was normal to me. I didn't know. My kids are like, "Oh my god, I would never have."
Oh,
Yeah,
we
you
used to
would
do-
have.
We used to do a pig roast.
You'd
all
have
the
that
time.
pig. You have that
I'm so
pork
suburban.
puerco asado. You're good to go.
So
Yes.
so Cuba, the thing I enjoyed most in Cuba, and I'll get
I'm so
shot
jealous
for
that
it
you've
doing
been.
here. Oh yeah, a bunch of times. That's a whole nother story. But according to the government, I've never been there.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. But manatee. So you can have
Oh
manatee
my
in Cuba.
gosh.
So if you want a
That
phenomenal,
just makes me sad.
but you know what? So manatees,
Sorry.
the manatee population is greater than it's ever been
It is.
in the history of the world.
Apparently they're
shouldn't eat them.
tastier too.
And I actually so in the hurricane we came up with, I had the 1940 Encyclopedia Britannica, the Encyclopedia Britannica,
I love my
set.
and
I was like
the
2.
1940. So I had the West Indian manatee version
Right.
in that book, and it got ruined by the hurricane. But they actually had recipes for manatee, and it was absolutely. I've had it in Cuba a couple times, and it's very delicious.
Do you know the
It's
nearest
like a
relative
steak.
to the manatee?
The cow.
Is a cow?
No,
Broccoli.
It's an elephant.
Elephant.
Oh.
Elephant.
Yeah, we saw that yesterday on
I was
the
so
on that show.
close.
It was on. Yeah, they say
Oh, I
it's the
missed
water
that.
elephant.
Okay.
Howard, it was on the Americas. We
I
And
watched.
know.
when you think about
I've
it,
never ate
it
elephant.
makes sense,
but
right?
I've had kangaroo and camel and all
All
kinds
right.
of other stuff.
Well, a few other things that we do in doing the show is who's coming to town.
I'd love to hear that.
Well, the summer and fall is just huge with talent. Every week we go over to two big names, and would you see them or not? You ready, Joe? You mentioned one. We're gonna see. Would you go see John Anderson of Yes?
Yes,
We are.
yeah.
We are.
I saw Yes.
Oh,
And if you wanna
1984
go, let us
Lakeland
know.
Civic
when
Center.
is that?
Hold on, I'll pull it up.
I
Alright.
saw that text.
would you see Sting?
Yes.
Yes,
I got a review the other night of him. So you would see him?
absolutely.
Would you see Sting?
It's the only one I haven't seen, really.
I've seen Sting
seen
before.
so many people.
I have two. I would see Sting from the early Police days, but afterwards, I don't know that I care.
Oh, I love the
I
Blue
am-
Turtle.
okay,
The
yeah,
album was really
okay.
good.
The review that I got from the tour, save your money.
Yeah.
Really.
Very slow, very bland, and
No-
I'm very
no
surprised.
police
So,
issue.
no energy.
So if you look at from the Police
But
days,
you know,
but
you never
as
know.
his
He's a bassist. What do you?
his further stuff just really was
jazz,
just blah
blues,
to
and
me.
jazz.
Yeah, but it wasn't even like good jazz. I mean, give me a
I don't know.
good
Englishman in New
Southern-
York was a really good song. I thought.
That was a good song. That was a good song. But there was just a lot of stuff that by the way, we should talk about this. I should pull up. I haven't looked at the schedule, but Motorworks Brewing down in Sarasota.
Oh
Who's
wow!
coming?
Yeah.
Oh my God, they have the best knockoff bands.
Oh,
like-
covers. Yeah.
So
Tribute bands.
we saw the Eagles. I saw, and it's like cheap, right? It's like $5, and then you go and you can sit and have drinks and food on the patio. And the earlier you make your reservation,
you see?
I saw Stevie Nicks.
Oh
and,
wow!
And you would have sworn it was freaking Stevie Nicks.
That's
Well,
good.
Let's hope it wasn't a trance show, and it could have been. Stevie.
Yeah.
Really quick. Yes. Yeah. John Anderson.
Yep.
Performing Yes Epics and Classics. Event date is June 20th at Ruth Eckerd Hall.
Nice.
All right.
Pre-sale for people who are members is now, and the public on sale is March 31st at 10 a.m.
Membership
Yeah,
has
so-
its
so
That is
privileges.
like that's
put me down
definitely
for
one to.
that.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
guys, let me know
Yeah.
if you want to go. I already have tickets for Howard Night because I'm a member.
Yeah. Yeah.
Finally, and this is a huge name from our time. Are you ready?
Ready.
Def Leppard. Would you go see them?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
Rhonda's
down.
jam right there.
Def Leppard is coming
Okay,
to
I see
Tampa.
us.
Well, I saw them I saw the drummer with an arm and without an arm.
Pre and post.
Yeah.
Yes, and they were just as good.
Yep. That
They rock it out.
All right.
he
so
has
it
done
looks
such
like,
a good job.
Yeah, Joe Elliott, surprisingly enough, his voice, he is kept in great shape no matter how much he drank and how much he partied.
Unlike
And he still looks pretty
what's
good.
his name from Skid Row that I can't stand.
Sebastian Bach. is
Good
awful.
Lord, I can't stand here and talk
I-
much.
I-
I'll sing.
And you know what? I would go to see Journey with the little
The
Taiwanese
Filipino guy.
Filipino dude. And
I've seen
dude,
that.
he does such a good job. I've watched the documentaries,
Oh yeah,
and you're like, dude, it's Steve Perry.
Don't be surprised if you see Steve Perry with him in 2026. They're putting it
exactly. I
together.
saw
they?
that.
They're putting
I've
it
been-
together.
That's
I
cool.
follow
It's
Steve
all
Perry.
about money. It's crazy.
When Steve's mom got sick, he just fell off
Right.
the main street, and I don't blame him. You know,
I don't either.
That
I don't have money to
lifestyle
just
is
go off and have a
unbelievable.
nice life.
Well, Teo,
Also, hold
Yeah.
on, Howard. What's the band that we didn't get tickets, but a friend of ours got tickets for?
Stick Figure, a reggae band.
No.
Stupid, slightly stupid.
Slightly Stupid.
Are coming to town. We're another reggae band. And again, reggae is picked up great because weed is great, and that's my opinion.
Yep.
Okay, so a little thing I put together that I'm going to end the show out, I think, and
Okay.
thank everybody else after this. But this is a list of people that have been on our show,
Okay.
and we
Sorry
hope
if
that
we missed anybody.
if we missed anybody, it's been a crazy whatever. But and show up again. We invite you to come back on. So this is what I came up with, and tell me if you forgot anybody. First of all, Teo. Teo was on the show.
Thank you.
Teo was on the show before there was a show.
Yep.
Woo woo.
We have Kim Nargi,
Yep.
Trish,
Yep.
our friends over at Lazy Gator,
Yep.
Love them.
Kim Levesque,
Yep.
Nicole Barrios.
Yep.
We had Tony Glamour.
Hmm.
We had
Zach.
Lori Partanio from the Pet Walking.
Oh, yep.
We've had Heath, Zach the Comic,
Yep.
We had Debbie Diaz. We've had Pressure Joe 3 times,
Yeah.
and he's welcome here anytime, like you all are too. We've had Chris for Toys for Tots.
Yep.
Nice.
We've had Andre on for the air filter.
Yep.
Cheeto for Auto Spa.
Yep.
Ronnie for the barbecue.
Yes.
Tampa Bay Cakes.
Yes.
Yum.
We've had JD Coaching.
Yep.
We've had RV Joe on.
Yay.
Oh,
Called
yeah.
in early. And I got a shout out to this guy, man. He is a cowboy out in Pasco. Hudson and Pasco. He is the biggest RV dealership, repair shop, and warranty.
What's it called?
West Coast RVs.
Nice.
He is 100% on board, upstanding. I'm not just saying this. 5-star across the board. If he's not going to fix it right, he ain't going to do it.
Right.
He walks customers. He's got 3 years of business in
We
front
should
of
have
him.
had him like the week after the hurricanes when
he-
we were all shopping
He
for trailers.
can't get on. He's like, dude, I can't get on. I'm too
yeah,
busy.
he's so busy.
He just literally today finished his place. And we're gonna have. He said Howard, and he's from Jersey too. He's like, Howard, as soon as I can turn my lights on at my place, I'm coming on, and I mean that. And a great guy too. Who else we had on? JD Coaching. Who else? Lovely Flowers, Lightning Bob. We had Andre Ciapetta. We've had Angelique. We've had Don Novak, and we had
Angie Fry Richardson.
Angie
Oh,
Fry
yeah.
Richardson's on
And
here.
now you could
Yep.
say you've had Tammy from Christy Lock and
Absolutely.
Key.
We had
Yep. Plug away.
one I can't read, and that's a lot of people.
He's so silly.
And we want more.
We have more.
We
Night's
Hey,
Air's coming on.
yeah, we want
and
Nights Air. We got to figure out. So I want to shout out again to Kelly Powers Figueroa with the Pilates room there in Ruskin. They got kind of slammed. Well, they got slammed both ways. The building took a lot of damage in Ruskin. It's right there next to Uncle Joe's, the old Poppies.
Yeah.
And so they had a bunch of building issues, and then their house. Then Kelly and Justin, their house got destroyed just like mine did, and
Danielle's
and-
wasted. Santiago.
oh yeah,
wasted.
Santiago. You
I
know, we
want him
went
on the
Santiago.
show.
So Santiago's been going through a couple things, and he was in a car accident the other day.
No shit.
Yeah, his Tesla. We drove by, and I'm like, I think that's man. That Tesla looks like Santiago's,
What
and
color
then
is
and it was Santiago. Man, now I'm a blank. Was it white?
Most Teslas are either white
Yeah.
or dark.
Or blue.
Anyway, but Santiago
White or blue.
was in a car accident. He was okay, but we want to have Santi because Santi, you know, so
What a giving guy.
what a great guy. And,
Oh my
and
gosh.
Santi does a Spider-Man thing, then the Elf thing, etc. And he had done some stuff on his Elf, and he went to different nursing homes, right?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
That's
and
awesome.
and he was cutting hair at some of the nursing homes. And my father-in-law passed away the day after Halloween, and I had posted on Facebook, you know, some pictures of Tom and I, and Tom and Stacy and Stacy's sister. And Santi reached out and sent us a picture where he was an elf at the nursing home, and he had pictures of my father-in-law. And he took the
Aw.
time. He
That
goes,
was cool.
He goes,
Very
man. He
cool.
goes, that guy looks familiar.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
said that.
out of like 100
Right.
plus people that he took pictures with as an elf at different nursing homes, is like that sounds familiar. And he went back through his photos and he sent me a picture of my father-in-law with Santi as an elf.
That's nice.
And my father-in-law was just grinning ear to ear. And I'm like, man, what a cool! I mean,
I
just-
saw that picture.
it made me cry. I actually cried
Right.
because it's one thing to go, oh, you know, I was an elf at that nursing home. It was another thing to take, and we have so many photos, right? And
Right, one of
Santi
the
posts
last,
a lot
though.
of photos, and he dug through a year's worth because this was in November, right? So he dug through that picture was in December the previous year. So he dug through 11 months of photos going, I might have a picture with this guy
Right.
to send to us. And for that alone, I want to take Santi out to dinner. Santi,
you
and
go.
I think he's got a husband.
Clap it up for
Just
Santi.
because he's so great.
That's
And
great.
he's done so much help. And I know like Ron Brown's daughter with her accident and her being
Right.
in the wheelchair, he goes over and
Long
cuts her
time of
hair.
healing. Right.
And so, you know, we need to give shout outs to 3 hair salons. We have obviously
It's not like one person can do them all anyhow.
right.
I mean,
And
that's
you,
a lot of
you
work.
have Santi and you have Tangle Me Not and you have Hair by Bohemian, and they all three.
But Santi, he travels, so he goes to them.
Right.
Right. Where the other two, yes, they're awesome, and I
Well,
love
I think
them too.
Santi's in a salon somewhere,
he-
right?
Right, but
yeah,
he still
but he
takes
still
the
takes the time
right?
to travel.
That's
and
awesome.
He's so giving,
And I
and
think that's awesome.
so
Want a big shout out to JD Coaching, Joanne.
yes,
Duran,
Joanne,
Apollo
thanks
Beach
for everything.
Publishing.
Rhonda, thanks for helping us in the booth there and hanging out. Welcome from Michigan.
Again, our friends at Cars and Coffee. Check them out on the second Saturday at 8 to 10 here in Waterset. They've got a great free event. It started off at 30 cars. There's like 200 that show up. The coffee's free.
It's like impossible to
Unbelievable.
park anymore. I
Yeah,
don't know what's going to happen when my truck shows up next week.
they'll make room for you.
So Don Wheeler, if
Oh.
you hear me, I'm ready for my truck.
Listen, I saw a 1920s like Model T convertible this week. Ask her. It was white with gold trim. Oh, they put so much money in that car. It was mesmerizing to see them just
It's
roll
amazing. It's
by.
100 years
So
old.
so
working.
so my
Right?
Model A, I had a 1929 Model A,
Of course,
Nice.
and I
of
know,
course.
and we loved it. Stacy liked driving that car. We had the rumble seat, so we'd have one of her friends in the back on the rumble seat, and I liked the car, but it was impossible for me to drive. It was like driving freaking a go-kart.
Exactly.
know,
I was
I
trying
gonna
to
say
think
it's
like-
probably
that,
like an amusement park kind of ding, 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 like
Well,
this. It's right up on you like
I'm
this.
so tall, and thank God I had a bench seat, so like my leg would be like well over into the pass, and no one
you're
could
doing
sit
one of
next to
these?
Let
me.
me tell you what
Oh yeah,
sucks
no,
is that
no,
they
oh, that
had
hurt.
Malibu Grand Prix in Tampa.
That was
That was
great
there
thing.
for at least 40 years.
Yeah, that's yeah, I remember
Go-karts.
That. That was fun.
Yeah,
So-
arcade, the whole thing. Close it down, shut it. I took my son and my daughter for the last weekend. They were there.
That was
Just
a fun
ride
place.
them. Let's
so
do
I got
it.
to, so let's talk about this. Somebody may know. So on 670, so Paseo El Mar, if you go out all the way, it used to be what 672, right?
Right.
From 301 to
Ball.
County Road 39, Balm. So there used to be a kart racing place. I don't know if it's still there. We used to go and race competitive go
They've
karts,
got one still on
And-
41 South.
and we could down at
Just before-
Anderson.
yeah, just
Anderson
before
Racing.
Palmetto.
And but you raced actually competitive race karts, and we would rent the track for like 2 hours, and it was like $1,000. We get a whole bunch of people together, and it was a blast because those karts haul butt.
All ass.
We
yeah.
should see about doing that. We should do like a kart racing
Oh yeah,
thing.
man.
You know, weed and
I got toys.
cigars.
I'm all about toys. I've considered getting a go kart here, but everyone knows me already. I
I
don't
wanna
need more.
fish.
That's a problem. Yeah,
that's
you
the
can't.
problem.
I mean, that's like what happens. Like
You
Was
can't
it-
toilet paper a
was it-
house. You can't key a car anymore.
I
Everyone's
want to
got Ring
bring. I
cameras.
want to go drive
Taya?
at Caldwell.
Might it have been called T4 Cartplex? 'Cause
What?
that still
No,
exists down there.
it's on
301?
County Road 672, and
Alexa?
it's actually a track for people that would race like professional karts. Like the actual solid racing karts, but you could rent the track and rent the karts.
Again,
Modaz Sports Racing.
also
Team.
want to shout out
Yeah.
Jen Bud because the room smelled great tonight.
Yes,
Jen.
thank you, Jen, because I know my cigars stink up the place, and you make it sound awesome. Smell awesome.
Like us, check us out on
Well, I
Tuesday
knew that,
nights.
so I put extra cologne on.
Nice.
Hey, by
South-
the way, I should have South Shore Live .us up and running
Awesome.
this week. I've been a little busy with surgeries. I have another surgery on Thursday, another one on Friday,
Good luck with that.
and then I'll get the website done. But it's also going to be a business directory. So everybody that's been on the show, please email me your contact info, and so we can get you on the directory.
That's the point. And we want to shout and thank everyone who's ever been on the show. If you'd like to be on the show, reach out to myself, Teo. And good night, everybody, from beautiful Apollo Beach, where the sun is just going
And
down.
thank
and
you, Tammy, for hanging out. And putting up with us
Absolutely
tonight.
wonderful. Thank you for having me.
want to thank our friends at South Shore Cleaning
Yes.
Supply, who help sponsor the show and do a great job. I'm a little partial. I'm their dad. Good morning. Don't be a shitty person. Be good tomorrow to everyone. And if anyone gives you crap, think first, then figure it out. Good night, everyone.
Right.
You
Thank
got it.
you.
See you. Bye.
Awesome.
Hillsborough County pet parents. Is your work life keeping your pup cooped up at home all day? Imagine coming home to a happy, relaxed dog instead of one bursting with pent-up energy. A midday dog walk with Professional Pets Florida is your solution. We'll ensure your pup gets the exercise and socialization they need while you focus on working. No more guilt, no more rushed walks, just a happy, healthy dog every single day. Professional Pets Florida, because your dog deserves the best. Learn more online at www.professionalpets.net and schedule your free onboarding call today.